let me ask you this. Do you have any scars on your inner being? Like a broken heart? Like something that crashed around you and you couldn't stop? Those are the ones that really hurt. I want you to remember in the Bible, in Isaiah 53:5, it says, by His wounds we are healed. Isaiah is in the Old Testament, isn't it? You think that was prophecy? Most scars heal from the inside out. Most scars. If you want to have a good scar, get a deep incision. And it heals on the outside before it heals on the inside. And here's one of the nice things doctors do too. They'll go right to that scar and run a needle in there until they can get blood and they drain. And then they'll come over here and drain. I've had that done. It hurts, but it relieves the pain. Isn't that amazing? The inside scars tend to hurt more than the outside scars. You know, I can remember, little sweethearts I had. I knew my life would never be the same after she told me she didn't like me and something else. And then me being so modest, the girl said, I would really like to go to prom with you. I said, well, not. I was really and if I'd been her, I would have slapped me to the floor and then stomped her. Sometimes I look back on it and I'd like to go back to that girl and apologize. But I don't know where she's at, and thank God I don't, because I'd hate to have to do it. She probably said, I really didn't want to go with you anyway. And that's what I would deserve. When we put a painful experience on someone, it scars them. How many of you have ever heard of Doubting Thomas? I want to tell you something. Doubting Thomas was one of the braver ones. I'd call him Big Bad Thomas, because he spoke the word. He wasn't hiding out in an upper room. He was out roaming the streets. And he said, if he is God's son, and he is rose from the dead, I want to put my finger in his scar on his hand, on his side. He was honest. He wanted to have a true, real faith that meant something. He didn't want to have a lackadaisical experience. So he was in the upper room, and guess who knocked in? Right through the wall, man. No door, no nothing. Said, yo, bro, how you doing? Can you imagine? He said, Thomas, I heard that you wouldn't believe I was risen from the dead, but you touched this scar right here. And run your finger down my side. And if you read it carefully, did Thomas ever touch it? No. Thomas said, brother, I believe. And sometimes we have to get to the point in our life that we say, brother, I believe it can happen. And if it doesn't happen now, I believe it'll happen later. When I came here, 6 people were here. You know, Linda informed me one day, just shook me up here. They were ready to shut down. I was ready to build. Isn't that crazy? Good thing you didn't tell me there when I came. When I go somewhere, I want it to grow. I want to share it with everyone. I want it to be quality. I don't want whole bunch of people that don't believe. I want people that are God-fearing Christians who have had scars and lived through it. And they can go somewhere, hey, no, you can't eat crayons. Start calling when you go to the bathroom. Get back here. Get back here. Sit down. For those on YouTube, that's my son. More hairy than he looks like. You know, any scar is painful. I can say I understand how you feel, but do I really understand how you feel? No. But if you tell me, I had a certain surgery and it was very painful. I've had that surgery, I say amen. Slash, back here. I want you to lay down, sit down. Now lay down. I don't know what's getting into him. He thinks he's a churchman. I can remember for 18 months I laid in a bed. I took Norma to work, and then I would go get her. And I'd tell them, I'm the go-getter of the family, because I take her to work, and then I go get her. But I'm going to tell you something, it was a tough 18 months. The 5 guys that were in our counseling group, all of them passed but me. Why God spared me? I don't know. I didn't know then. But boy, he broke it open to me real quick. And when he did, I said, Lord, wherever you want me to go, whatever you want me to do, I'm with you. And I told him downstairs how my motorcycle ministry was getting too comfortable. I had the whole summer planned out and everything was nice. And by December, I had everything planned up. October, I didn't have one booking except August, first Sunday in August. It's the only booking, and they booked me for life on the first Sunday of August. And this church called me. And the last thing I wanted to be was your pastor. But you know what? It's the most important thing in my life today. Isn't that amazing how God can take a scar of seeing pastors not caring about people, and I didn't want to be affiliated with that kind of treatment. I wanted my congregation to know I love you. I'll do what I can to bring joy to your life. Man, where we go? How many days we walk out there? It's your turn to read. You got 6 pages.
2 Corinthians 11:23 through 25, New American Standard Bible. Are they servants of Christ? I speak as if insane. I more so, in far more labors, in far more imprisonments, beaten times without number, often in danger of death. 5 times I received from the Jews 39 lashes. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. 3 times I was shipwrecked. A night and a day I have spent in the deep. Galatians 2:20. I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me.
This is the word of God for the people of God.
Praise be to God.
Praise be to God. When you're wounded, talk to the man with the scars. Always remember that. There's nothing God cannot answer. He will answer prayers. And, you know, I'll tell you this. If you want to call me and pray about something, I usually have my phone on all the time. And I try to give advice that I think is wise. From my personal life and from God's perspective. Many times we're so stubborn we want to take care of the one who wounded us rather than trust God who solved the problem. I want you to listen to this. Many times we are so stubborn we want to take care of the one who wounded us rather than trust God to solve the problem.
Amen.
Preacher needs to do. Your scars are proof that God heals. Anytime you have a scar, it didn't just heal. There has to be a specific chemical process that happens that makes that wound close. Look where you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 days ago, and see how God has solved the problems of wounds in spite of us. You know, I went around with wounds I carried for probably 60 years. There were nights I couldn't sleep. There were nights I had nightmares. I don't have many of those anymore. Sleep problems I still have, but hey, 24-hour TV is so boring you can put you to sleep. Indeed, our scars may be our greatest ministry. I think if I wouldn't have had as many scars as I had on me, I don't think I would have been an humble preacher. I think I've been the guy who was cocky, who wore his nice suit, tie, hat, and leather shoes. You know, I've been that guy, but I finally said, God, use me where I can be used.
Thank God for that.
I don't need a big church. I need big hearts in the church.
Amen.
Let us take time to seek God's face in prayer. Shortest sermon I believe I've ever preached here. Craig, would you care to pray for us?
Heavenly Father, thank you again for today, for us to come to your house. Thank you for your stars. Thank you for our church, our church family, and all of our many blessings that we have. For the knowledge to know that it's a blessing. Please watch over us, protect us, bring us back here again. In Jesus' name, amen.
I'm going to sing hymn number 266. Sounds like someone I know. Let us lift our hands toward the Lord and our Savior. Dear Lord, I ask you to turn our weakness into strength, our suffering into compassion, sorrow into joy, and pain into comfort for others. May we as servants trust in your goodness and hope in your faithfulness, even in the wilderness of suffering. Let us be filled with patience and joy in your presence as we wait for your healing touch. Please restore us with full health, dear Father. Remove all fear and doubt from our hearts by the power of your Holy Spirit. And may you, Lord, be glorified through our life. As you heal